several years, but I feel until and unless women are financially independent, we cannot empower women. I'm talking on behalf of urban women. So what I feel, for several years, we have to go down to city for a good job, good salary. Why not? We should have big private companies in Meghalaya, so that we can have, all women are, whether they are married, unmarried, they can have financially independent as long as they are healthy and as long as they are one. That's my
opinion. I would agree with that, but I think some of the work to bring big companies to Meghalaya has already been started with regards to the type of roads that you have here and the infrastructure, the environment. So I was discussing with the Chief Minister that Congress Party got peace to Meghalaya. Prior to the Congress Party, there was no peace in Meghalaya. So the foundations for bringing big companies to Meghalaya have been set, and I hope that the Congress Party will move aggressively in doing what you're suggesting. We are fighting a particular ideology across the country. And the heart of that ideology, which is the RSS ideology, is the idea that one thought, one way of thinking should be imposed on the entire country. We completely disagree with that. We feel that this country has many different ideas, many different expressions, and many different states. And we feel India is made up of all these different ideas. And we think India becomes stronger when these ideas thrive. I feel that what the BJP is doing and what the RSS is doing, particularly all across India, but also especially in the Northeast, is attempting to undermine your culture, your language, your way of life. And what is central to your way of life, what do I see as different in Meghalaya? And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in your society, women have a very large space. Women have a big space in decision making. Women are involved in running things. And so I think at its very heart, the idea of the RSS is actually aimed at women. It's aimed at disempowering women. Do you know how many women there are in the RSS? Does anyone know how many leadership positions in the RSS are in the hands of women? 0. See, if you see a picture of Mahatma Gandhi, you will always find woman on this side, woman on this side, woman behind. You must have seen. But if you see a picture of Mohan Bhagwat, he will always be alone or surrounded by men. He will never be surrounded by women. So that is central to them. We believe that women and men should have equal rights in this country. They believe that men should have a preeminent position. I put in my other issues as well into your question because I think they are very important issues, and I think the people of Meghalaya must understand that their ideas, their way of life is under attack. And you have not really felt it yet. But if the BJP continues down the path of capturing institutions, you will start to feel it much more strongly. And that is what actually this election is about. It is about defending your way of life, defending your culture, your religion, your way of thinking about the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Samantha Lindo. Can we have Samantha Lindo asking a question, please? She's a young entrepreneur who's very interested in knowing what our president has in mind.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
As an entrepreneur, I find that the financing sector is the biggest hurdle with regards to the micro, small and medium enterprise. The government is encouraging the Make in India, but the interest rate floating in India floats around 12%, whereas in China it's around 4.5%. Can the government reduce the interest rates so that we have a chance to compete? And what can you do to get this current GST web out of our business lives?
I think two or three things. I've been saying again and again, I said it in my campaign in Gujarat, I've said it in Parliament House, that the BJP's focus on 10 or 15 business people is the wrong focus. It's very important that big businesses get support. But in the BJP's view, small and medium businesses have absolutely no space. If you look at the amount of money that big businesses get, and when I say big businesses, I mean the top 15-20 businesses in India. If you look at the amount of money they get, if you look at the amount of support they get, and compare it to the amount of support given to small and medium businesses, there's absolutely no comparison. And it's not only about finance. So even if you look at the political system, it is very easy for any of the big businessmen to walk into the finance minister's office. They have access to the political system. But if you're a small or medium businessman, you simply do not have access to the political system. You can't, Mr. Jaitley does not have time for you, put very simply. So the Congress party believes in organizing and supporting small and medium businesses and helping them get a political voice and also helping them get finance through the banking system. You know, people complained a lot when the Congress party did Karza Maafi for farmers, forgave the loan of farmers. And I was criticized quite a lot by the BJP leadership. They said that why is Rahul Gandhi supporting cancellation of farmer debt? What they didn't tell you is that Congress party forgave 70,000 crores of farmers' debt. There are millions of farmers in India, in every single state. What they didn't tell you is how much money they have forgiven of the top 15 businessmen in this country. Just last year, the top 15 business people were forgiven almost 150,000 crores. You will not read that in any newspaper. My question is, how many small and medium businesses were given that type of support? You don't give farmers support, you don't give laborer support, you take away what was given to them in Narega, you don't support small and medium businesses, and your entire Make in India is about 10 or 15 business people. They will get the defense contracts, they will get all the big plum contracts, they will get all the financial support, all the political support. But the result is going to be that you will not get a single job created in India. And that is visible. China creates 50,000 jobs every 24 hours. They are our main competitor. Do you know how many India creates? Can you guess? If China creates 50,000, can you guess how many India creates? Just pull out a number, any number. India creates 450 jobs every 24 hours. The whole of India. That means that if you take this front of this room, one side of this room, the front of it, that is the amount of jobs Mr. Narendra Modi is creating in 24 hours. And that's Make in India, Startup India. I've even forgotten the names. Huh? Stand up, sit down, Clean India, Look Left India, Look Right India. All of them combined create 450 jobs. On GST, in fact, we were the people who came up with the GST. But we had a very different GST. Our GST was minimum tax and only one layer of tax. The BJP came up with the idea of having 5 different layers of tax, 5 different tax layers, and tax up to 28%. They came to us with this proposition. And when they came to us, we told them that this will be a disaster. If you apply 5 different tax layers on India, you will complicate taxes, you will not simplify them. And you absolutely must not have 28% tax. Our formula was, take all the items that poor people use, what the common man uses, remove them from the tax bracket. And then have one tax. They said no. And they said, we are going to impose the GST at midnight. Then we went back to them. And we sent Mr. Chidambaram. And we told Mr. Chidambaram to tell them that, okay, you do not agree with what we are saying, but whatever you do, do not launch this GST without testing it. Because if you launch such a huge tax reform without testing it, you will cause severe pain to people. Millions of people will lose their jobs. They basically told us to mind our own business. And they said, no, we are not going to test anything. We are going to launch this reform at 12 midnight, and they did. And the result was devastating. Thousands and thousands of businesses were shut, small businesses, medium businesses were shut. Millions of people were hurt. And we called it Gabbar Singh tax, which is the correct name for this tax. We have already told the government, and we've made our position very clear. If the Congress party comes back to power, when it comes back to power in the center, we are going to change the GST. We're going to change the structure of the GST, and we're going to simplify the GST so that you can actually get a tax code that is simple and not complicated. So that's where we are in GST.
Can we have Valerie Milimpra ask her question, please? Valerie Milimpra.
You can ask 1 or 2 more questions, there's no problem. What is the time issue? What is the time? 10, 15 more minutes. You can ask one or two questions.
All right.
Very good afternoon, Rahulji, and welcome to Shillong. In fact, I'm very fortunate.
Where are you? I can't see you. Okay, I see you now.
I'm very fortunate and delighted to see you face to face. Here's a question for you. Despite the fact that the Congress is championing the women's reservation bill, but still we are seeing lesser women in the election frame. I wonder why. What I want is that I want more women in the election frame especially like a madam, Mrs. Anthony Lindo, and many others. Thank you.
No, I agree with you. We championed the reservation in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, and I think it's something that we hold very important. We are pressuring the BJP in trying to get them to carry out reservations, but I have my doubts. It's not their type of thinking. They don't like to do that. They'll do it if we pressure them, and we're doing that, but it doesn't come naturally to them. I think one of the most important things that has to be done in the Congress party is to change the balance between the number of men that we put to fight elections and the number of women. I'm absolutely convinced that one of the big changes that is required in the Congress party is a significant increase in the number of women leaders. I think there is a very healthy Panchayati Raj system, and over here you have a traditional district council and traditional system. I think there is a very healthy amount of women in those systems, and I think that is where we should identify, select and promote women from. I'd like to also invite women to join the Congress party in Meghalaya, and women who are currently not in the Congress party, I'd like you to join the party so that we can have more and more women who we can choose from. I do think it's very important that we put women into places of power. I think I would like to see at every level I would like to see Congress women helping run the country.